Welcome back to UI Chat, the podcast where we discuss everything Ubiquiti and networking. I'm your host Alex, and as always, I'm joined by Evan McCann. How are you doing, Evan?
Good, and I hope I'm not too late to wish you a happy SFP Liberation Day.
It's a brand new holiday, and we're going to come back every year and support this and celebrate the SFP Liberation Day. So
yes,
mark it in your calendars, folks.
I'm feeling very liberated, so hopefully you are too.
That was so odd. I mean, I get the notifications on my phone about the new videos that Ubiquiti drop, and I was like, the heck is this? Like a new holiday or something? So, very, very strange.
My theory is there's one person somewhere up in the higher levels of the marketing team at Ubiquiti that loves weird names. Like they probably named the Swiss Army knife access point too. You know, someone likes it. It was like a catchy little phrase and good discounts on SFPs, but interesting marketing.
Yeah, and we'll get to it in a second, but there's a new hardware tool called the SFP Wizard, which, despite the quirky name, it's actually a really, really cool idea of them allowing you to basically software wipe SFPs, I believe. So, yeah, quite an important thing. So,
yeah, but hey, don't you have some business to attend to, some intros to discuss before we dive in?
Yeah, so that new hardware device, which we'll get to, as you said, there's discounts on many switches and devices like that. That QSFP discounts are now like 30 to 40% off on some of the devices, and there's a new store tag for all the SFP discounts. So yeah, as I said, it's a bit odd. And then you and a lot of other Ubiquiti people are going to UWC Miami in is it a few days or a few weeks? I can't remember when it is, but
it's November 4th, I believe.
So literally a few days. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. So it's been a pretty busy month again for Ubiquiti stuff. Right at the very start of the month, there was these brand new UniFi UPS devices, which were actually previewed at the UWC earlier this year. We got a glimpse of what they're working on, and the first of which is quite an affordable UPS tower. And I've got one on my desk just here. I'm not going to move it around because it's a bit heavy, but they are actually quite good. They can be adopted to the UniFi controller, and they'll do graceful shutdown. They'll do sort of alerting based on when they run out of power and that sort of stuff. And one of the things I'm quite impressed with is that most AC UPS devices in this price range, they don't have any smart features whatsoever. And this is quite a good price, comparable to what APC offer, and it gives you practically 2 to 3 second delay notifications on your phone about when it's lost power. So I think it's a really cool idea. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm curious about the software. So I have a couple questions about that. But so far we have two models. We have the desktop. US pricing, it's like $160. It's a pretty small battery, not a lot of runtime, but you do get those nice monitoring features and the graceful shutdown. So that's a nice little unit. And then the slightly larger rack mount model, it's a 2U. It's like $280. It has two of the same batteries that are in the desktop model, so they use the same battery. It's just the rack has two of them. Again, not a lot of runtime, not a big run your network for several hours type of system, at least with these two models that we have. But yeah, what is the software like? Can you remotely power cycle equipment? Can you see live power usage? Like, what is the interface like?
So you can see live power usage. It will have an estimation on time based on the wattage that it's running. So if it is utilized not very much, it will run for a very long time, respective, kind of. And there's a few things you can do. You can turn off the entire device remotely, and then you can't turn it back on again. You can. There's on the back, like any sort of AC UPS. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 power sockets on either side, half of which are for just the battery and surge, and half for surge. I'm just logging into my UniFi controller because I can't quite remember if you can turn off each port manually. So we'll do some real-time sort of information here. So no, it doesn't look like you can remotely turn off the devices actually. So
I wonder if that's when I think about a monitored UPS, that seems to be like, it's nice to be able to see, this port is pulling 100 watts or is stuff like that. But if you can't remotely power cycle devices, especially if you have a non-UniFi device plugged in here, I'm surprised that's not a feature. And I wonder if it's going to be, or if it's, maybe I think you mentioned there may be some higher end models that'll be coming. I don't know if they've announced those or just we know that they are coming.
Yeah, so in the Ubiquiti sort of release video, there was a teaser at the end of that video to say there's some UPS devices coming soon for enterprise that will have lithium-ion batteries. So lithium-ion batteries, like in your smartphone, can run down to empty with no problem, where lead acid, they have to sort of be at a certain level before they can do anything. There are some weird oddities with it. So you can't name the ports that are plugged in for power devices, which is odd. Which I'd have thought that'd be.
That's just software. I mean, they could fix that in a software update, but that is strange.
Yeah, it is strange. And the graceful shutdown, which you mentioned, is only really for devices that have hard drives in them. So they're not designed for gateway devices because you don't particularly want that to shut down beforehand. They are for the UNAS and the UNVR devices. So they have a bit of time to shut down, and it will send a command to those consoles first. I think there'll be more features coming soon. It's very early doors at the moment. Adoption to remote UPS devices, adoption to remote UniFi controllers can't be done via SSH, just like the Ultra switches. You have to use either a UXG and use domain DNS-based adoption, or you can use something like the Hostify tool, which we've got, that will allow you to adopt it remotely. So it's a bit of a strange one, but I think it's got legs. So
yeah. And as part of this, I noticed that what used to be called the Mission Critical, that's the I think it's like $1,000 big battery built-in switch.
Yes.
That is now the UPS PoE switch. So same product as far as I can tell, but some bigger UPS is coming, some rebranding. So it seems like they're doing a lot of power related stuff. Yeah, that switch, it's got quite a chunky size lithium-ion battery, and then you can plug in external devices to it. External batteries to it. Yeah, if I get my words out. And weirdly, that's not actually sold by Ubiquiti in the UK. They say go and find a third-party distributor. So, but in the US, you can buy it from Ubiquiti directly. So, well, lucky us.
Yeah. No, some cool stuff there. It's interesting because, as I said a minute ago, that the market for managed EPSs is a bit messy and quite expensive. Where they've brought this in, and it will be, pretty good. Yeah. And then you put in the show notes the international differences. So in the US, the sockets on the back, including the input socket. So the input socket is hardwired into the UPS itself. Whereas in the EU and worldwide, you get just a standard IEC connector, and then on the back, rather than having the AC outlets, you just have the inverted version of the IEC outlets. So, yeah,
and good. I know some people were disappointed about that specifically because that's in technical terms, that standard US plug is a NEMA. I think it's 515p, standard like 2 prongs with the ground. Yep. A lot of people have rack mount equipment that uses I don't remember the numbers and letters there, but a different kind of like the inversion of that, or just a higher amperage input. So for these two models, they're kind of lower end, smaller battery, more basic. Maybe in those enterprise models, they'll have more options for powering off a higher wattage higher amperage, like a 240 volt. Type setup. So I don't know. We'll see. The interesting that the international version has that adapter kit, whereas the US just has the built-in, this is the one plug, deal with it option. Yep. So who knows? Maybe that'll change too.
Yeah, and then in the EU and UK, they sell the braided cables to convert from IEC 13 to 14, I think it's called, with the built-in locking pin. Which is quite good, so there's no loss of sort of functionality there. But yeah, I think with some extra software, I think it'll be a pretty cool product, really. So pretty good. Yeah.
And next is, like we mentioned earlier, the SFP Wizard. So the only one, they have a Wi-Fi Wizard. They've had that for a while now, and I think there might have even been an older version of the Wi-Fi Wizard, but the current one that they sell is the little like $100. It almost looks like a credit card size thing. Yeah. And that's meant for like doing Wi-Fi analysis. So you'll connect it to your phone and walk around and, see signal strength and map your network that way. This is all about this little tool, the SFP Wizard, is it's $50 US pricing, and it's a way to test or reprogram SFP modules, which is, I guess, a lot of people don't know that's a thing, or like they've been lucky enough to not encounter enterprise networking vendors doing silly things with SFP modules and locking compatibility. So like if you have a Intel or a Cisco or some other brand SFP, sometimes it's not compatible with your hardware, it's only compatible with certain connections. I don't have this tool, I haven't used it, but from what I've seen, it seems like a really nice way to take those modules, reprogram them, test them to make sure they're still in working order. They mentioned it does full diagnostics and it has over-the-air updates, so it'll continue to, I guess, support more models going forward, but it's really meant for a locked other vendor SFP module, or I guess like a Ubiquiti one, to do that testing and verifying that it's working. So very cool tool and very cheap for what it is, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know of any other tool. I don't really know of any other tool like it. I'm sure there is, but I'm sure they're very expensive. You're probably looking maybe like $800 sort of price potentially. So I don't know.
Add a zero to that, maybe.
Yeah,
this stuff gets crazy. I saw someone mention like there's I think it was a Cisco QSFP that they're testing out at work, and that one SFP module was $90,000. That's the list pricing, so it'll always be discounted and all that. But like,
crazy,
it is an order of magnitude more expensive for other vendors. So I'm happy to see, despite the quirky marketing, their push to deliver cheaper modules, good tools to work with them. I think there's a big space and a big desire to have more reasonably priced SFP modules out and about. So all good stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, people probably don't realize really, but there's a little tiny chip and software that is essentially running on those SFP modules. And yeah, as you said, vendors do like to pull funny business and sort of lock them to certain switches and stuff. And I think Ubiquiti rightly so, don't kind of like that behavior. So I've made this tool. I don't know if these vendors in the future will sort of restrict things like this from rewriting their software, but we shall see. I think they were mentioning in the video as well that it can help you diagnose light levels, and you could turn on the LED laser on the SFP as well. It has a built-in battery, so it'll run for up to 75 minutes of continuous diagnostics, it says. And on the bottom, it's got one QSFP socket and one SFP socket, and it uses the UniFi app on your phone to do the updates if you need to via Bluetooth. So, yeah, I think it's a cool idea.
Someone in the Cisco legal department is like, how can we sue them over this or break their compatibility somehow?
Yeah, they'll be ordering one straight away. That's why they're sold out. Cisco's ordered all of them.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's also 3 brand new cameras which are all about sort of very high-end level specs, really. So 3 new cameras. All of them, I've checked this, they all have 2.36 optical zoom, and it looks like they all are probably running the same sort of sensor here, and that's kind of what we've seen before with new cameras they've released in the past. They all are. The first one is the G6 Pro Dome, and this one looks very much like the standard G6 Dome, but it adds that larger sensor, 8 megapixels. The night vision range is now increased from 30 to 40 meters, so it's 131 feet. It's $499, so it's not a cheap camera by any means. It's quite punchy in terms of price, and yeah, it also has that optical zoom on it as well, and the micro SD card for edge recording too. So that one's pretty nice camera. This one was super interesting. I've not seen anything like this before. It's the AI Multi-Sensor 4, and it's one sort of camera that looks like the G6 Dome, I guess, or the G6 360 camera, but it's actually got 4 independent 4K cameras, which, judging by Ubiquiti's marketing image, you click on the camera itself and it will drop down into certain lenses. It's not clear really it says that all the cameras are individually adjustable, but it's not very clear if you can do that via software. I don't know if they're PTZ cameras, you can move them. I'm not sure, but they do have zoom on them as well, which is up to 2.33 optical zoom. So there's 4 8-megapixel sensors for a total of 32 megabytes. And unlike the 360 cameras, this one does support all of the AI features. So that's license plate, face, people, dog, cat, whatever it is. So there's that option there. And for the first time ever, there's a expansion slot, not only for SD card, but also for M.2 drive. So I guess because of the extra data that you're going to pass through by 4 times the cameras, that you need some extra storage. So there's an SSD there to allow you to offload that footage. So that's really, really cool. There's no price on this. I predict it's probably going to be quite expensive based on the specs. Could easily be $800, $700 maybe even more than that. But I think for a lot of use cases, that's really, really good. It saves having 4 cameras and 4 wires, so that's quite cool.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell from the specs that they listed in the little snippet of the video, I mean, it seems like you have 4 fixed lenses. Like there's no PTZ, there's no movement. You have the ability to use optical zoom on any of those 4 angles. So you have, one pointed north, one pointed east, and etc. But you could zoom in on that one lens. And they do mention it's 360-degree IR range and a 360-degree viewing angle. So I don't know if they're like stitching these together in one panoramic view, or if you have 4 independent camera streams. Like you probably have options for all of that. But and the wildest thing is a SSD within your camera. If I think it's 2 SD card slots and then the 1 M.2 slot. It's just it's going to be expensive. And I guess we'll have to wait till December to see what that price is. But
there's definitely a use case for this, like warehouses. You'd have to actually have, as I said, 4 cameras anymore. You've got a bit more individual zooming rather than just having a 360 cam, so it's a bit more flexible in terms of that. And then the third camera is the G6 Pro turret. Again, it's similar to the G6 Pro Bullet. Got the same sensor, the same amount of zoom, so it adds all those capabilities. You get an LED spotlight for color night vision. You get a micro SD card slot, 2-way audio, 40-meter IR range again, and all the AI features too. And then they're being oddly specific about the release date on this one. So they're saying the week of November 17th, and then that's for the white version, and then the black version will come in January, and it's $479. So again, not a cheap camera. So these are definitely high-end models for high-end applications. So, but it's nice to see new cameras again.
Right, and it's especially compared to the G6 Pro Bullet. I'm just struck by how similar it is. So it's really just like, what form factor do you want? I mean, they're both around. I think they might be the same price. Almost every feature is shared. I think the LED spotlight or the floodlight maybe is only on the turret, but otherwise they almost seem like the same camera. Just what body style do you want? Yeah,
pretty much. Seems like they've done pretty well in terms of the sensor on these new cameras based on the reviews I've seen. Yeah, the only thing you do seem to lose is that spotlight, and we still don't have, for that G6 Pro Bullet, we still don't have a AI enhancer or the enhancer kit, even though there is a port for it. So I'm guessing that will come at some point and add this LED spotlight that the other versions have, but we shall see.
Oh, I thought they announced, or is that like announced but not released maybe? I thought they had a vision enhancer for the Pro Bullet.
I'm not sure. There's one for the AI Pro, there's one for the G5 Pro, and there's one for the G4 Bullet. Unless I've missed the IR enhancer, actually. Unless I've missed something. Not sure.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But hey, just buy the turret. It has the spotlight built in. Don't have to worry about that.
There you go. Cool. And that's all the hardware. Yeah. 3 new cameras and some UPS devices. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Jumping over to software, I think we did cover this last time. I believe it was in EA, and we knew it was coming, but now we have UniFi Network 9.5 is out and about. 9.5.21, I think, is the current GA release. It was out a few weeks ago. The big headline feature is the yet another attempt to make automatic channel selection for access points work. They've rebranded and changed this feature and all that, but the whole point of channel AI is what they're calling it, is especially in like a really large, really big dense, a lot of access point, a lot of client environment. It'll kind of monitor channel usage, what channels are best for each individual access point, and try to apply them automatically for you. So hopefully it works as well or better as the previous AI flavored, what was it, Wi-Fi AI back in the day, auto channel selection. Yeah,
that's the one, auto channel selection.
Yeah. So this isn't like a brand new feature. It seems like they have a new name for it, and maybe there's better underlying behavior there, and hopefully it'll work better than it did previously. The other thing they mentioned is Wi-Fi multicast filtering and VLAN bridging. So you can do intelligent things like only allow this Apple TV to AirPlay over a certain network or to certain clients or certain access points. Just more controls for that. The port manager has been improved. There's a lot more details in there about alerting for anomalies and more details about each individual port and its usage, and kind of more logging in that now. And they also updated the default security posture. So I believe this is just kind of a more robust default rule set to block access between networks and those kind of things. So yeah, there's a lot of focus on Wi-Fi with 9.5. In the video, they did call out, especially with Apple clients. So if you have iPhones, MacBooks, iPads, and then I think even the Apple TV, they have a little thing in the release note saying added banner to update your Apple TV if you're having issues. So that must have been a issue for a lot of people there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 9.5. It didn't seem like a huge jump from 9.4. But speaking of huge jumps, we also got our first release of Network 10.
We did.
Did you take a look at this?
I had a little look. I haven't had a chance to actually mess around with the software yet. But I don't know. I don't know what the requirements are in the naming department to jump from 9.5 and skip 6, 7, 8, and 9 and jump straight to version 10. But, I mean...
Well, those are kind of up to them and kind of arbitrary. But, I mean, at least what the pattern they seem to follow is they'll add a .1 to .2. Like, that is, like, at least 2 or 3 big features. Like, for 9.5, it was channel AI, port manager, the multicast features. Like, usually there's a group of features that bump you to that next train. Between 8 and 9, I think, was a fairly big jump, and this seems like a smaller one. So I don't know why this isn't 9.6. From what they have in the release notes for this first version, I mean, it doesn't seem like a ton. They mentioned... I mean, the big thing is the API, but the only other big headlining feature was the improved settings experience for Wi-Fi, hotspot, network, and internet. I'm running the beta, the EA release, because that's what all smart people do, is run EA software on their home network with no testing. And yeah, it doesn't seem massively different. It definitely seems like a few things have been tightened up. The side panel is a little bit nicer. I didn't dive into every single settings page to compare what changed, but it does seem like a nice small UI refresh there. The bigger thing is the network API, which have you ever done anything with that or played around with the API?
We've tried to do something with it at Hostify a few times, but this is it's been fairly limited in what you can do with it. So this is a nice the fact you can adopt new devices with the API is quite a big thing. So I don't know what we'll end up doing with it, but we might do something with it. But it's quite good to see them opening up access to it for once. So yeah,
and I think it might have been 9.2 or 9.3. One of those earlier Network 9 releases was like the very first version of the API, and it was very limited. Like, you could get the status of devices and not really anything else. But now, they mentioned you can get unadopted devices. You can adopt new devices through the API. You can create and manage firewall zones. Coming soon is you'll be able to make firewall policy. I assume you can make changes to rule sets through the API. You can create and manage VLANs and ACLs. Retrieve the list of DPI applications, get WAN information, better filtering options, error reporting. So we knew when they first announced the API that it was kind of the foundation, and they're going to build up a lot more features on top of that, and we're getting that. So it seems like maybe that'll be the big thing with Network 10 is the API.
Did you also see that they removed the legacy web UI option?
What?
That's gone.
Finally, it happened.
So it's in the very last bullet point of the improvements list. It says remove the legacy web UI.
Oh, they listed it as an improvement. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the writing has been on the wall for years that that's going away. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess this is as good a time as any to do it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if people are going to be upset about that. But for me, I mean, me personally, I haven't. I mean, have you felt the need to go in the legacy UI? There was, especially early on, there were settings that were only in the old or only in the new. It seems like there's not really much reason to go in the legacy UI anymore.
No, not I haven't really noticed a particular reason to go between the two software versions. I mean, certain things, if you set them from the old one, they might break or not work properly in the new one. So I don't really see the need to mess around with the old one anymore. It's not kind of a guarantee that things will actually work properly. So
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Sad to see it go.
Did you also see, it's a very minor, nerdy thing, but system-wide, across everything they've got, apps, the forum as well, that they've now put lines through the zeros.
Oh, yeah,
Apple,
dude. Yeah, I see that.
Apple did it a while ago on iOS when you read passwords or whatever, but it makes things a bit easier, I find. So there's always that confusing thing. Is that a 0? Is that an O? Or is it whatever it is?
Yeah, 1Password does that for passwords, and I guess Apple does the same thing. So it makes like a capital 0 or a capital O easier to determine from a 0.
Yeah.
Way to go. I'm all in favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we have 10.0 with the slash through it.
10.0.140, so yeah, nice. There's also UniFi Talk application 4.1.3, also another EA release. This adds one-click phone adoption, a smart attendant holiday schedule. So I guess if you've got the smart attendant running and answering phone calls for you, you can now set custom schedules for when your business is closed. And also the call recording for internal calls now includes any intercom calls and any paging requests. So that's a nice little improvement there. And then UniFi Drive 3.3.10 EA as well. I think Active Directory has been quite a big thing on the feature request. So your Active Directory credentials can now be used to log into an existing SMB share. So that's quite a nice improvement there because a lot of businesses use Active Directory, so it's nice to see them integrate that.
Is it Entra too, or just like on-premise AD? I'm curious.
I don't think they specified. Let's have a little look here. Again, more live feedback. It just says
we love reading through things and figuring it out on the fly.
Yeah. No, it just says this is an Active Directory that can be used for Time Machine. Doesn't say anything about Entra. So.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. And then that's it for all the main software things, unless you found anything else.
No, there were. I mean, it seemed like a little bit of a slower month for software. There were a couple security advisory bulletins, including one that had a 10.0 base score. That was for UniFi Access.
Okay.
So yeah, and I believe the other one was for UniFi Talk, maybe.
Okay.
But as always, keep an eye out for those and update. Otherwise, I think software was a bit slower. Network 9.5 and 10.0 were, to me, the biggest thing we saw. Yeah.
There was also, because I sometimes remember to go through the store, I can't quite remember what's new and what's old anymore now, but you can now buy a replacement official SSD for your CloudKey Gen 2, so 2.5-inch SSD if you want that. It's $99 for a terabyte. And then we got the official release of EdgeRouter 3.0.0 3 months ago, and they've released 3.0.1 now, and it's just bug fixes. So apparently people had issues with WireGuard VPN, and that's about it really. So nothing groundbreaking. So
it is still alive technically. The EdgeRouter and Edge Switch will continue limping along for who knows how long.
They've got someone hovering over the switch for the life support system. So
there's one part-time intern continuing to update that software. Yes.
Oh dear. And then just before we go, what have you been working on anything since last episode, or?
I got some, mainly just working as per usual. Copy and paste my comments from the past few months. I do want to update for the new cameras, my comparison charts. But beyond that, who knows? Maybe all my day job will slow down and I will become a productive content creator once again.
Sounds good.
But it sounds like you've been busy. You're working on a UPS review?
I'm working on a UniFi UPS review, and then I worked on a when I was working on a video for Hostify, where I was just showing how to block a simple website, and I was thinking, actually, if someone's got iCloud Private Relay enabled on their device, they're going to bypass all of these rules. So I managed to work out how to block iCloud Private Relay, and it isn't simple. But so I did a little video on that, and it seems to have done quite well. Basically, all you do is you add two CNAME records in the DNS in UniFi, and then it would do an NX domain, which is what Apple requires, and then the Apple devices then understand what that means and says iCloud Private Relay is not supported. And then if you want to go a step further, you can then block any external DNS servers. If you've got naughty kids, you can stop them from doing that. So, but I think it's more to do with auditing for businesses,
right? And block outbound VPN connections. Especially if the use case is this kid is getting around the filtering I have in place. Good luck, because kids are very smart, very creative. Yep. They will find a way around it. But that's really cool that you found a way to block iCloud Private Relay, because that's restrictions are tough to enforce, and it's tough when there's not really great information out there.
Yeah, it's more to do with, as I said, governments, and education's a big thing. So then someone commented saying, I blocked my, I guess, because you can do it from a network's perspective or you can do it on a device. He was saying, I put this in place and it worked, and then my kid turned on the private MAC address thing and it stopped working again. So I was like,
Yeah. There's always a way around it if you know what setting to change or whatever. But
yeah. Amazing. That's going to do it for this episode. A bit of a slightly shorter one than last month, but some pretty... Is that your cat? Is that sirens?
That is a fire truck driving by.
Okay.
There's a fire station like right down the street from me, so the lovely sounds of the city in the background there for you.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed the stuff we've discussed here. Where can people find you online, Evan, if they want to find out more about you and what you do?
evanmccann.net.
You can find the interface at theinterface.uk. You can subscribe to this podcast in audio and video, so on all the audio platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and then YouTube for the video version. We'll be back again next month, and we'll be discussing the UniFi World Conference, because you would have been there, so stay tuned for that episode. But in the meantime, stay subscribed, and we'll see you again next time.
See ya.
You're an SFP Wizard, Harry.